Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Casket Ready. I am your host, Mr. Life, and I have my co-host with me, Mr. Real Estate Route. What's going on, brother? Peace, peace, peace. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Another day, another day.
Another day, another dollar. How you feeling today, man?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great.
Okay, okay, okay. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So today's topic, it is you don't need millions, you need a plan.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, perfect, perfect. Yeah, exactly. You don't need millions. You need a
Do
plan.
do you have a delay or something or no? Am I bugging?
No, I don't have a delay.
All right, say no more. Continue. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, do you need a plan? So, you don't need millions, you need a plan. So essentially what that means is at the end of the day, you don't need a whole bunch of money to actually save money and actually become rich. That's what it's about. A lot of people think you got to have $1 million in the bank, and it's a saying that it takes money to make money. But at the end of the day, if you have a proper plan, that can kind of offset that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, what plans, when you talk about plans, right? What plans are we actually talking about? Because there's different types of plans that you don't have to have $1 million to have a plan, but what plan specifically are we talking about?
Planning in general. I mean, let's start off with the 9 to 5 person. What does that mean? You got a 401k with most jobs.
Hmm.
Most jobs they give you 1% to 4% match. So it's one of those things where the slow and steady way is like, all right, let me set up a 401k. Then of course,
Okay.
the next step is, getting a life insurance policy like an IUL where you can invest in. So that's kind of a couple ways where you could kind of start off where it's right in front of your face and you don't realize it.
Okay. Okay. I guess I want to dive a little bit more into the whole 401k and matching. I mean, it's not big words, but some people maybe just got a 401k or may not have a 401k. So kind of break that down a little bit of what do you mean when you say matching with your job? How does that whole thing work?
Yeah, so a lot of jobs, a good amount of jobs out there offer what's called a 401k. So it helps you retire. So to keep it simple, they take
Hmm.
money out of your check and put it away and put it in the stock market so your money can gain money. Now, so what that means is that you might say, "Hey, I want to put in $100 per paycheck to my company so they can put it in the stock and they can gain money on it. So 30 years from now, I can have X amount of dollars, 100,000, 200,000, $300,000. Now, how that works is a good amount of jobs will match anywhere from 1% to 6%. So you may have a job that's like, all right, if you put in 100, then I'll match you up to 6%. So you're getting money from the money you're putting in, and the company's matching 6% of your paycheck to go into your bank account. So then now, you get that high match, and now boom, 20 years later from now, you might have $300,000, $400,000 when it comes time to retire.
Okay, so and how do you track this? Is this something that can be tracked like on a monthly basis or every time you get your check? Or how do you track this? How do you know that your money is
Absolutely,
actually growing?
absolutely. So it's one of those things where first off, it's high risk and low risk. Like anything, it's in the stock market, so you want to pay attention and ask the job how it works. They normally give you a couple settings. You got low risk, you got high risk, type
Mhm.
of thing. So you wanna pick the settings you want it on to be on the safe side. And then yeah, you can track it. Most people never track it, but you can check every
Mhm.
month. You can check every day. To be quite honest with you, most people never do. They just set
Yeah.
it up and just periodically. Some people check it once a year, once every 5 years. Some people never check it, but you can check it every day if you wanted to, because it's information that the company gives you, and you can see how your money grows. See when you're losing money, see when you're gaining money, seeing when you're breaking even.
Got you, got you. So I guess another question is because I don't know how old people are watching this, but I remember back in 2008 there was a crazy market crash, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as far as like how much should you invest, you know, um, Because I mean, even back then, people lost a lot of money, you know. So how much would you say, as far as like, is it based off of your age, how much a person should be investing, or how risky, you know, because it's a risky market. So how much should a person be invested? Is it based off of their age, based off of how much money they're making, based off of how much they're contributing? What's your thoughts on that?
You know, what I mean, I think it's all the above.
Okay,
It's all the
got you,
above.
got you.
Depends on the age where you at, where your money's at. Meaning that if you 63 and you got $30,000 in your 401k, hey, you're gonna have to risk it all. You're gonna have to put high risk because you can't retire with 30 grand. So you're gonna have to take some chances and risk it all and pray to Jesus the market is booming over the
Yeah,
next 2-3 years and try to double up that money. You know what I mean? But at the
got you,
same
got you.
time, if you're that same older person, 60 something, getting ready to retire in a few years, and you're at 400,000, you want low risk, so you get medium gains. But if the market crashes, you have low losses. You know what I mean? So it's all about, to your point, how much money you got saved up, and also how you retiring. Because at the end of the day, if your Social Security is $2, you definitely got to put a high risk if it's getting close to the retirement age. So it's really just about what other products you have that's going to help you retire in a reasonable amount. You know what I mean? Because that's why you got to diversify your portfolio. That's why you got to have a 401k. That's why you got to know how much you're getting in Social Security. That's why, you know, you want to have an IUL policy so you have 3 or 4 different types of revenue. So by the time you retire, you can retire comfortably. Exactly. So you want to say something, Katie?
Oh yeah, no. So I was saying that I was thinking, because I was pondering, I was thinking about it. You just said IUL, right? Which is the Index Universal Life. That's another form of retirement, right? That's another way that you can supplement income. That's another way that in the future, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, you could have hundreds of thousands of dollars if you start now.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So, you know, not laying all your eggs in one basket is the key, you know.
Correct.
And because we all think we all have this like perception to think that we need to have $1 million like right now. But the truth is, it's not about right now. It's about later on when you don't want to work. Because let's face it, you know, I remember when we was 18, 19 years old, right? Young, doing what we had to do, you know, not a care in the world. And we didn't think about, at those ages, to be quite honest, to be quite transparent, we wasn't thinking about saving no real money. Why? Because we were just living life, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if we would have started saving at 18 years old. Do you know, if you were to start saving at 20 years old, ask me how much money that you would need to get to $1 million at age 20, if you were to start saving at age 20. How much money do you think that you would need?
I don't know. I'm bad at math. Tell me.
At the age of 18, 19, 20 years old, you would only need to put away $100 a month. $100 a month. And by the time you reach retirement age, between 65 and 67, you would have had $1 million in your account. Obviously, thanks to compound interest. You get what I'm saying? But then you would have had $1 million at age 65 if you would just put away $100 a month at 20 years old.
That's massive. That's a good point. You know, so my question for you is then, why none of the 20-year-olds are listening to us?
Because they're 20. You get what I'm saying? They're not gonna listen. They're not gonna listen till they hit 28, 29 years old, after they got 3 kids already. You know, they just purchased their first home, and then now they're gonna start thinking about, you know, the saving and the investments and things like that, which I understand. But I wish I had some people like us talking to us at those ages, right? Because we would have started a lot sooner. So the whole concept and the whole idea is that you don't have to be a millionaire to have $1 million at a certain age, or by retirement, or by the time that you ready to not work anymore. But you have to start saving at some point. And it's not just about saving. You also have to find ways to invest, because you could save every penny in the world, but if you don't invest your money as well, you still won't have enough. You have to invest. You get what I'm saying?
No, and I like what you said. You actually said something key. First off, you lied. there was somebody telling you how to save an XYZ. You just wasn't
Okay.
listening. It's
Just wasn't listening.
call your parents. It's call your parents. So stop lying on your parents first off. But the truth is, what that really means is ultimately at the end of the day, for all our parents out there that has anybody that's any age, honestly, that's under 30, what you really should be doing is creating the investment for your child, not asking them permission, but teaching them, letting them know it exists, and start saving it for them. That's what that really means. This way they understand the investment piece. You know what I mean? That's really what it really boils down to, where it's like, all right, you got a kid, you put away that fund going forward. And it's about practicing good habits. That's why they say practice makes perfect. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you got a young kid and you're putting away money and you're letting them know that you're putting away money, that kid understands money is getting put away. You know, for example, I started recently, or I haven't done it recently, but there was a point in time where, I had like a little baby bank account for my son where the bank offered to that your kid could have an account, and you could go to the bank with your kid and show them their account, so they actually understand the process. So I used to do it when he was like, 8 to like 10. I slowed down on it, but it lets them know how it all works. And you're slowly and consistently over time introducing it to them. And also just letting your kids know that, like, every time you give them money, little things. If you give them $20 for allowance, hey, let's take $5 out of that and put that away in your piggy bank. Don't use it all. Just practicing little things on how to build up so they can understand how investment works, how saving works, and how money can multiply.
And to your point, you got to show them. You got to show them the actual growth of the money. Like, it's one thing to like put money away for your kids, but if you show them like, yo, listen, this is what I'm doing for you. Look how much money you have right now, but you can't touch this yet. Look how much money you have. Like, you could literally show them this, like, every birthday / Christmas. You could show them like, hey, look how much money I got for you right now, but you can't touch it yet. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's important for them to see those numbers, for them to see what you're actually doing for them. That goes a long way. I kind of want to talk about the IUL for just a split second, right? What's beautiful about the IUL, right, is this secure. What's going on, Kia? Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat first off, right? Shout out to everybody on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Shout out to all you guys to chiming in. She says practice makes improvements, not perfection. Exactly. Absolutely. It's about the practice, and eventually you'll get to the point where it becomes routine and it becomes natural at that point. But I want to go back to the IUL for a second, because when it comes to the IUL, not only are you investing, but you also have the security side of the investment. A lot of people worry about, when you invest, you're going to lose a lot of money. But when you invest into an IUL, you're getting the gains with the market. But when the market tanks or when the market goes down, what actually happens is that your money gets locked into place, so you don't lose any money. And then on top of that, you still got a death benefit, which is coverage that is attached to the policy. So it is a great investment tool. But to be quite honest with you, the best way to invest in something called an IUL, first, contact Legacy Builders. We're going to tell you how that go, right? But the second best way is that you must get a small coverage amount and overfund that coverage amount to the max, to where you can maximize the capabilities of the product so that you can get the most bang for your buck, if that makes sense. I wish we had illustrations just so I could show you guys right now, which we don't, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, and to be honest with you, Kay, like, you just started talking a lot of insurance talk. It's like me hearing a Spanish person talk. All I heard was hola.
The real ones understand it. The real ones understand it.
Let's break it down. IUL is called an Index Universal Life Insurance Product. So it's a life insurance product where you can put money into, and it'll give you life insurance and it'll give you cash value, like the 401k that we had. So AKA, you call us, you go to the site, you book an appointment, we get you a policy, you put money into it. It may be $70 a month, $150 a month, and it's an investment tool just like a 401k. You get money out of it, and if you do it for your kids, and especially when you want to do it for your kids, because that's when you could make the most gains. By the time they retire, they're gonna love you to death, because we did this on the last show, where if on average $250 a month, if you do a policy for your kid at 7 years old, by the time they get close to retirement age, they will have $1.6 million in cash by the time they retire. So the point of this is that you don't need to be rich. $250 a month. Now, it's different numbers you can use. You can go lower, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, $250 is reasonable. I mean, cell phones is a cool $150 a month. So depending on where you're at in your life, that's a good amount of money to have your kid retire. And again, like I always say, imagine you're in year 15 and you as a parent, you on hard times. You actually made your kid an investment. A lot of times we all joke around, my kids cost me money. Imagine a situation where that same kid that's costing you money, prom, college, blah, 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 blah. And 15 years later, you're able to be like, this kid that cost me money, I built up $500K in cash. Actually, let me go and take this $200,000 out real quick out of my kid's fund, and they still got $300,000. Why not? Now your kid didn't cost you money. Now your kid's your investment. As soon as your kid hits 2 years old, they're an investment.
2 weeks years old. 2 weeks old.
Let me grab my English.
You can't be weeks and years at the same time. But I think they got the point.
They got the point.
Yeah. Shout out to Janelle. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Question: at what age to start a CD account for kids to help with savings for their future?
I like that question, and I like that question. The CD is good. Again, it's another way to put money in the market, and your money grows. For CD. But at what age? As early as possible. To be quite honest with you. But that's why, to the point, Janelle, of the show, where we're saying that, like, you want to have a diverse portfolio, a CD, your 401k, a IUL insurance, life insurance policy, a IUL, that type of stuff. But you want to start as early as possible. It's just one of those things where you want to have a mix, a CD, 401k, this, that. But the truth is, if you're doing a CD with a kid at a young age, you might as well go with a life insurance policy like an IUL, because you can have more gains over time. Because, a CD, it locks you into a certain number over periods of time, like a 5-year period, 10-year period, that type of thing. But an IUL, you can get more consistent gains. So you still want to have a CD, Janelle, but that's something that we would look over and be like, hey, it actually makes more sense based off of the amount of money you're putting in to get an IUL versus a CD. But if it's a circumstance where a CD is better, we're still going to tell you the truth and be like, hey, the CD is better based off of these circumstances.
Got you. Yeah, absolutely. And then also talk about diversifying your portfolio, right? Even in a variable market. So meaning, like, there's different high yield savings accounts that you could put your money into also that can help your money grow. So you have something called Vanguard. Vanguard is good Vanguard is very good to use, right? They're getting anywhere from about 4 to 5% interest on your money with Vanguard. Charles Schwab's, that's another stock that you want to actually invest into. They get good gains too. So there's different types of investments that you want to invest in, and those are like two big ones: VOO and Charles Schwab's. And then some of these investments, they actually pay you dividends quarterly based off of how the market is performing. They will pay you quarterly.
That's
great.
What
I'm saying? So still do more research, do your own research, but those are good investments. Those are good stocks to invest into.
Okay. Not like that.
Charles Schwab's and VOO, Vanguard, right?
But what I want to know, Kay, is it called Schwab's?
I thought it was Schwab's. I don't know. Schwab's. something like that. Go look up
I'll,
Charles.
I'll,
All right,
I'll, I'll, I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
go look up Charles.
I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, man. But no, that's a good point. To where you wanna have different things in your portfolio, and that's some of the things we talk about, man. Because I mean, it's one of those things. Real talk. Anybody that's employed that has a job, they know how much they're gonna get in Social Security. So as soon as you start working, Social Security tracks how much you're gonna retire with. So a lot of times people don't even look at the simple things like download Social Security. Like, oh my God, I don't know. It's like it's so many resources in front of us. Think about it. If you're 25 years old, you download Social Security based off your current income. It'll be like, hey, by the time you retire, if you stay at this income, you'll get $1,000 a month and retire. So now you can prepare on how to retire. Boom. Damn, if I'm making $60K a year, I'm only gonna finish off with $1,300 a month for Social Security. Okay, you're at $1,300. Now you can be like, okay, I got a job now. Let me get this 401k. Okay, if I put 5% match based off the numbers, it looks like at least if I keep a job like this, by the time I hit 60 something, I might have 250,000. That's not enough money. 250 is not enough. $1,300 is not enough. All right, a couple years roll down. Boom. What's the next step? Oh, let me get an IUL. Oh, with an IUL, over the course of 20 years, based off putting $200-$300 a month into the policy, because I can now afford that. Oh, I could have $300,000-$400,000, and on top of that, if I have a kid and invest in that, I can have double that amount. So wait, by the time I retire, if I have a 401k, calculate my Social Security, have IUL, and instead of keeping my money in a regular bank, put it in a high yield savings account, I'll get 5% on that money, depending on how the market is. And by the time I hit retirement, I'm gonna have $1.2 million, and that's all basic stuff that I just go to my regular job every day. That's not gonna kill my pocket, but I'm struggling every day. Why? And people can't retire. Like that's the difference between that 75-year-old working in Walmart from poor planning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a real thing. And we can't turn back the hands of time. There are some
Nope.
people who are in that position. It's
Correct.
unfortunate, but more power to them, right? But the people who are not in that position, the people who are a little bit younger, that has a little bit of time to put money away, do so, because that's the whole concept of this topic of this podcast, right? For today, is that you don't need millions of dollars to accumulate wealth, for your future. You don't need it. But here's what you do need. You do need the discipline. You do need the consistency, and you do need to invest. And there's no better time than to start right now. And that's the message that we want to get across to everybody who's listening right now. If you're not doing it already, you must start doing that like yesterday, right? And once again, you see the contact at the bottom. Hit us up. Let's have this conversation on how we can help you invest, how we can help you get to that $1 million mark. At the very least, 500,000, $250,000, whatever your number is, let's help you get to that number faster based off of your age, your pockets, and where you at, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think to your point, at the end of the day, it's never too late. Now, it's gonna be a little harder if you 72 and you ain't do nothing. It's gonna be a little harder. So we're not gonna sell dreams here. But
yeah.
It's still not too late. It's always a way around everything. Meaning that don't bust your brain. Let us do the thinking for you. It's as simple as looking at the bottom of the screen, booking an appointment, and let's talk about it. It's one of those things where you got to remember, we practice this on a regular basis, on a daily basis, a monthly basis, an annual basis. So when we sit in front of somebody, it's one of those things where you, as an individual, might be like, how am I going to make it out this? I don't know how. And you probably don't. And it's going to probably take too many brain cells to even do that. You know, so don't even waste your time. Let us help you navigate that, break it down for you, show you the way, find a workaround. And that's the thing about it, though. No matter where you're at, as long as you have breath in your body, there's an opportunity. It's just finding the right people that can work with you to get you to that destination.
Absolutely. And I guess we could go ahead and start to wrap this thing up, right? I would say this. I would say the fact that, you know, it is the holidays. You know, this is the time where we actually spend a lot more. We spend emotionally because it's that time of the year, right?
Mhm.
Don't just think about, if even if you are going to spend, think about also how you can invest. Think about how you can take that extra couple of dollars, you know, after you bought all your Christmas gifts, you know, go ahead and put some money away for yourself so that you can have a brighter future, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's the holidays and all that type of stuff. I mean, let's
Mhm.
stop it. Forget the holidays. I mean, the holidays is cool.
Yeah,
It's
but you
cute.
know they go, I mean, we got to be real about it. Like, people gonna spend money on the holidays. They gonna
No,
spend it
it's
regardless.
not that. It's okay to spend money on the holidays. What I'm saying is that, like, let's stop playing. Like, if you
Mhm.
got kids, you done gave them all the gifts they want already. You done damn near gave them all the nice gifts they wanted all year. The
Mhm.
tablets, the cell phones, the birthday parties, the this, the that. Why don't we just start actually using the holidays to actually start investing in your kids' future? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And for the older folk, just give money instead of giving your grandkid, random money or random gifts. Start up a fund. Talk to the parents as far as a IUL. Talk to the parents as far as a CD. Your grandparents giving $200 or you're giving kids a gift. Stop just giving kids gifts, toys, and all and games and all that type of stuff. They get all that from their parents now. Let's face it. I know every generation we keep saying everybody's spoiled, but listen, this generation they spoiled. They don't need no more gifts during these holidays. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
go and
yeah.
invest that money and stop playing. Like, they are spoiled. Listen, kids are so spoiled and so ridiculous. It's one of those things. Quick conversation I was having with my son the other day, and life is so smooth for him. He doesn't want to go shopping to the store. He was like,
Mhm.
"Nah, that's not time effective. Why can't I just look at my clothes online? It'll take 20 minutes." And I'm like, "But let's just go to the store. You can try it on." And he's like, "Nah, that's time being wasted. Why would he waste all that time?" So I say that to say, let's just take control of the situation and
But
just do it ourselves.
that's your fault though.
It is my fault. And you want to know the funny thing about it though is that I
Uh,
ordered some clothes from him online,
uh,
and then it was supposed to get delivered within 2 days or 3 days, and it took 9 days to get delivered. I was like, see, had we went to the store, you would have got it,
yeah,
but you wanted the fast way online, and look what happened.
yeah. It's the new way. It's the new way. It's the new way people shop. You know.
You ain't lying, you ain't
But yeah.
lying. But yeah, man. But definitely, like everybody said, go to the website and then just check it out, check us out, and just book an appointment, and we can just sit down and talk about it and go over the basics. www.legacybuildersus.com.
Yep. And that's where we at, man. If nothing else, here at Legacy Builders, we build together to grow forever. And
Absolutely.
nothing else. Y'all have a good weekend. I said good weekend. Good week. I'm still on the weekend, obviously, right? Have a good week, guys. Happy Monday. Enjoy your week. And
All right.
we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.